Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Habitat Update, the podcast about Japan and entrepreneurship, based in focusing on the Kansai area of Japan with the cities Kyoto, Kobe, Osaka, and more. We aim to go live every 2 weeks as a video on YouTube and as an audio-only podcast on SoundCloud and iTunes. We host this podcast on SoundCloud, and using the free model means I'm limited in space and time. That's why I'm keep removing all the podcasts, so I just download them. But in any case, that's why we have the videos. YouTube has no restrictions there. This is episode 11, the first episode in 2018. Happy New Year. With me today, as always, Sabrina. Happy New Year, Sabrina. How are you?
Happy New Year, Tugi. Well, I'm great. It's been a busy week already. We are getting ready for Hacker Osaka and Monozukuri Hardware Cup.
Yes, that's pretty soon. How was your transition to did you notice any change? Okay, I struggle always. For me, it's just a number. A number changed, and I actually don't like the idea of limiting yourself to a 12-month cycle and then setting goals and then resetting them.
Well, we're still in Japan, whether you like it or not, and it's a very seasonal country, and that changed a lot. The new year
it's not
was
just
a new
it's in general.
Chinese horoscope, and I think the expectations, and it is one more reason for people to try to put some plans into action. So.
Did you take any specific actions? What's your New Year resolution? Do you have anything?
So far, I don't know. Maybe I'm not that Japanese.
Well, it's just a global thing. It's just Japanese people are like, go more to the gym, lose weight.
Oh, but that's every year.
That's what I mean. Like, instead of resetting and repeating yourself, just set, I want to have a Schwarzenegger body by 2020. So you have a long-term goal and you work on that, because these things take time, right? And get disappointed.
I don't know if I'm there.
Well, we have to work on that both, I think. But anyway, today we are here in a new room. It's the same old place, the FVC Mesh co-working space, shared office.
Yeah, we have this new office here, special room. So we have, I think, the better acoustic for the podcast.
I think so. I hope so. We'll see. Let's jump in, in terms of startups and the past 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I don't think much happened in Japan in general, because it was it's also one of the reasons why we post that late this episode, right? We had this first of all, we had this huge 2017 review episode with Sushi Suzuki last time. That was great, and I hope you enjoyed it. And after that, we took now a break, because it was also a company break for most of us, and it's a New Year break. So
actually, we had the Monozukuri Hardware Cup applications going on until the 31st of December.
Okay.
And I can say for startups, they tend to leave all the main decisions by the end of the year. So we did get lots of applications in the 5 last days of the application.
How many applications you have?
I think around 20 something. I'm not sure about the exact number, but soon there will be a PR and the official numbers will be published.
Oh, that's great. Looking forward to that. What I saw then today was certain announcements, something like the Tech in Asia wrote here that for instance, one big thing many people probably are looking forward to is the WeWork, the co-working chain, is about to open the first offices in Tokyo four in different parts of the city as of February 1st, pretty soon.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see how they will perform here, because and how much they adapted to Japan. They just recently got a huge money investment from SoftBank, right? And I'm sure with the right people, they can find the right model to be successful or profitable in Japan. I don't know.
I would say that Japan is a very interesting market, but there are many small players already here. As an example, we are one of co-working space.
Yeah.
Kyoto has launched in the last couple of years. I think we have over 15 brand new co-working spaces. Tokyo is huge, massive, many spaces. So I wonder how WeWork will be able to actually keep Japanese customers happy in the daily basis.
Yeah, because I mean, I don't think the model they have outside of Japan might work here, because like providing all these luxury services and everything, and that's not how Japanese work necessarily.
Oh, no.
They have different needs.
I think I would say artists, designers, consultants, or sometimes independent professionals might like it, because we also bring this kind of premium luxury brand together. So for certain professions, that's a very important thing to show. At least if you're a small company, you don't have a lot of prestige, but you can say that your office is that we work, and then your customers will be happy to come and meet you.
True. Names play a big role here, and we have a similar situation with Osaka. Like, we have the Knowledge Salon, right? It's a co-working space, and it has a name to it, and it is like this prestige thing. Yeah.
Of course it is. And I met a couple of weeks ago one startup that is based in Kobe, but they said many of their clients are based in Osaka, so they need a fixed address or a meeting room, a place they can go. So the CEO, Chris, he told me that twice a week he's based in Osaka at the knowledge capital. So
Yeah, but then again, like, that's not the idea of a co-working space, because technically the idea would be to be there so you can exchange with different people and like
again,
meet
you're
new
talking
people,
about,
but you go there for just for meetings.
again, each user, the consumer, choose how they want to use it. So
Exactly.
then again,
Exactly.
Japan finds its own ways.
Exactly. Japan finds its own ways, and with
And it's
many
been
things.
working. I think there are many. Well, the co-working space we are here is the largest in, I think, in Kansai region. There are over 150 companies. So the difference between like most of places here, they have sometimes independent consultants or professionals who work as freelancers. Here, most of them are actually companies. So it's pretty big here, and the kind of idea is that you have a shared area, but still very, very, I would say, with its own harmonic way of working.
Yes, and I mean, we mentioned that many times before. Like, yeah, the Japan in general is a very insular country with very different, interesting aspects and societal like behaviors. And I was just checking the name because I recently listened, just today listened actually to one of the more recent podcasts of Tim Romero, the Disrupting Japan podcast. I can highly recommend it. It's more, I would say, more factual and a bit more interview-based podcast, but nevertheless, the host is very experienced and the content is really good. And he published on December 26th an episode called "What Every Foreigner Needs to Know About Hiring Staff in Japan" with what's his name, Terry Lloyd. And he is a serial entrepreneur, been in Japan for over 30 years and started like up to, I guess, 15, 17 companies he mentions in the podcast. I can highly recommend it. I tweeted it out today. It's very interesting. They talk about some topics like how to start, what to pay attention to as a foreigner in Japan, and some things you just miss out or don't know if you haven't been in the field for a while.
Great.
And you actually recommended, you told me to, hey, listen, this is interesting. I was like, yeah. I was postponing it. It was on my to-do list.
I like the fact that he mentions that Japan is trying to use very Western, especially American models of startups, and there are specific needs and market uniqueness that you cannot ignore if you want to do anything here.
Yeah, there are some rules to it, and some
and behavior-wise, and the way the society works.
Yeah.
So, and one of the main things that I was very impressed and actually at the same time happy, because he says that the traditional way that startups are planned and considered, even from an investment point of view, might not apply to Japan, because Japan has a different way of things working here. So he has been very lucky, because he said he's aware that growth takes time.
Yeah,
And that's something that investors in general are not very patient. So in Japan, they tend to be more patient, but maybe they are not patient enough to start from the seed stage and wait for the time until the startup has some minimal traction, I would say.
Then again, also like, yeah, there are more differences to the Japanese investors in general, like the fact that they are more about kind of like consuming and steering the startup rather than just investing and mentoring. I hear that investors are very demanding here, but that's another topic in itself. Listen to the podcast. I'll post a link in the descriptions. Check it out. I want to move on. We mentioned that you have the Hardware Cup
Monozukuri Hardware
coming
Cup.
soon.
Yeah.
In that sense, let's have a look at what other events or activities are coming in the next 2-3 weeks. Next week, actually, it's a very calm time. And again, I just repeat, it's been people coming back from like New Year break and everything, and not much announced, not too much. But nevertheless, I found like next week, January 16, it's a Tuesday, there will be in Kobe, the Kobe Startups Reunion event. And it's posted on Facebook by Kobe Startup News, and it's well, as the name says, it's a reunion event of the Kobe various startup programs that happened in the past years, among them like the 500 Startups Kobe program and so on.
Great.
Yeah, I don't know if you're interested, if you're around, check it out. Then I have an announcement. I have news. January 19th, it's a Friday. Mark that in your calendar. We'll have the first Habitat Friday.
Wow.
But do you see there any like connection between Habitat Update, Habitat Friday? It sounds very, in fact it is, you're right, it is by us. It's a GVH meetup. We had this before. I just renamed it and made it a bit more casual. We just renamed it, made it more casual. And it's about, and we named it in the description, we say like hashtag entrepreneurship, hashtag conversation, hashtag pizza.
Well, the last part really is interesting for me. I would go for the pizza.
And that's the point. That's the idea, right? Like, we want interested people, preferably in English, but not exclusive. Of course, everyone is invited just to join, to talk about topics, to exchange, and to meet new people. I'll try to have maybe some presentations in there, and we welcome everyone who wants to pitch or present like himself, a project they're working on, or a startup. And just let us know, drop a message in either on the meetup page or just directly to me, and we make it happen. And even if you don't have anything by then, just show up and something pops up and you want to introduce yourself, and I'll probably ask people to introduce themselves or something like that. Make it a bit interactive, and enjoy pizza.
Great. I'm into it.
Good. Then we have on January 25th, it's a Thursday, announced the next installment of the Monozukuri Hub Meetup with the name New Year, New Challenge. Maybe you can tell me a bit more about that?
Yeah, and back to our previous topic, 2008 has just started, and we see especially students are very concerned about, what's going to happen during the years. Some of them have gone through job hunting season. Some of them are considering how to start their own business, but they don't know what to do first. So that would be like the basic advices or some experiences of how to kick off your personal startup idea.
Okay, interesting. Looking forward to that. It's always, and it'll be at the KMG, the Kyoto Makers Garage.
Kyoto Makers Garage from
As
7
always.
p.m.
Yes.
to 10 p.m. Free of charge. Everyone is invited. You just go to Meetup. We'll put the link here.
Yeah, I'll provide the links in the descriptions.
And also, if you cannot join it, we're going to broadcast. So it's going to be on our Facebook.
So that's cool. That's cool. See, I was thinking about if we should do that for the Habitat Friday too, but like, makes no sense to broadcast the conversation and talk.
Because
so
the idea of your meetup is more
it's a
casual.
different. It's more casual.
Ours has more program and main speakers. So then the ones who are not around can have the chance to take a look and learn from what the Japanese community is doing in Kansai.
Good. Moving on, then we have on January 28th, I found, it's a Sunday, meetup called Coffee and Code Conundrum. The event is called Coffee and Code, Kohi to Kodo. And it's basically a meetup, just a very casual for coders to meet, have coffee in a certain place, certain shop, and just to exchange, just an opportunity to present their projects. What we have then on February 3rd, it's a Saturday, we'll have a next Compass event. Compass, it's a group we are of friends we know actually. They are concerned with foreigners trying to find a job in Japan, and they want to help there, and they want to create some additional opportunities. They had 2 events before, and this is going to be the 3rd one, and it's called Mysteries of Working in Japan. It will be in Osaka, in Umeda, at the Osaka Innovation Hub.
Mysteries of Working in Japan solved.
Yeah, solved. After that, I didn't find too much, but we can announce, as you said, like we have, the Hack Osaka event coming on February 27th, free of charge, only the after event networking event it costs something around 4,000 yen, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, but during the event, we'll have the Monozukuri Hardware Cup. People can attend and watch the pitch contest.
Yep, it's on the same ticket. You go to Pitix, you find Hack Osaka, and then
Yes.
you sign up for one, you'll be on both events.
Amazing, right? And then the next day, we have Get in the Ring 2018 in Osaka, Get in the Ring Osaka 2018. And that's the second time Get in the Ring is in Japan, in Osaka. It's a pitch contest from the Netherlands. And I think last year it was very interesting. It was a very special setup, and we don't see these things much happening here. And I'm glad to have it back again, especially by the fact that it's an international and English contest.
And also very casual, very fun. And startups get some training in the morning, get some mentorship, so they actually go through the main process. By the end of the day, when they have to do the real contest, a pitch contest, they are already into the mood of like being a ring and having like small battles, and it's very cool. I think it's a very healthy kind of competition and very casual. So I think we need more of those events, those kind of events in Japan.
It is, definitely. And that's it actually from my side at this point. If anyone out there thinks I missed something very important, an event, or if they're planning anything, just write us, let us know. You can reach us, I'll write it in the description, but you can reach us through HabitatUpdate, all small letters together, HabitatUpdate at gmail.com. Just as one listener did.
Oh my god!
Oh my god, they had a reader mail, huh?
Well,
amazing.
We had the first echo.
And we had the first Habitat echo, and that's a good segue into that. And it was John. He said, hello from Silicon Valley.
Oh my god, we are reaching Silicon Valley. I should cry now.
No,
that's
cool.
the dream of every Japanese startup player, to reach someone in the Silicon Valley.
And he wrote me actually already like in December 15th it was. And he couldn't make it to the last podcast, unfortunately. I answered him and he answered back. But his questions, basically, he mentions that he's working for a battery startup in a clean tech incubator in Silicon Valley. One of his questions, his first question was like, can you tell me how you got to where you are now? And maybe just to mention, he said, I'm a listener of your podcast and I'm a big fan. You have introduced me to the startup community in Japan and had my interest. Thank you very much, John. Thank you. And please, listeners, let us know what you think. Anyway, let's get back to this. You see, I'm excited.
I see a lot of emotion here. Too much passion.
Very emotional. And if you're watching now on the video, like I'm like tears, No. The question, can you tell me how you got to where you are now? Very open question. But I assume just in general, like how to get to be involved, like in the way we are now with the startup ecosystem in general, and with the one in Japan specifically. And I answered him, well, I just wanted to go to Japan and I was very lucky. I pushed my luck by volunteering, going out and meeting people and networking and expanding my network. And at some point opportunities arise. I got this amazing position and started just doing what I think is needed.
In the startup community, I mean, you can finally probably, it's the same anywhere else. You try to identify some of the people who are important connectors, and then once you meet them, you are there. You know, can introduce you. You can check platforms here in Kansai, the Hacker News Kansai channel on Slack.
Yeah.
Or
the Scrapbox.io.
Scrapbox. So now there's more information. I think the hacker community here in Kansai, there's a very pretty established one that already has, you know, like long-term goals
it's been going
here in Japan.
For years, yeah.
Like almost 10 years. And they've been growing and open for newcomers. I actually recommend some software engineer to Hacker News Kansai. And then they share a lot of information, knowledge, and job positions. So then once you're in, you get to know a few players, and then, you know, it's a network. You go through all the potential.
The good thing is, though, it starts spreading. Your name starts spreading, and you start seeing similar faces. And that's the thing. The ecosystem in Japan, especially here in Kansai, is still very small, and you get to know pretty fast the relevant people, I would say. After that, he answered and he asked then again, like, in the Japanese startup ecosystem, what areas need the most work? Where are the opportunities to contribute? And I couldn't write back, basically, because I wanted to answer it here in the podcast now. So what do you think? What areas need the most work in the ecosystem, startup ecosystem in Japan, and where can anyone possibly contribute? Let's say Japan in general, maybe Kansai area is a specific case.
I think we need more diverse role models.
Yeah.
So, female entrepreneurs, we don't hear about it.
Female is a luxury, I think, in general, just to have more entrepreneurs and leaders.
But you don't have many. And we read recently I think today on Forbes, there was this study published about the wishes, kids' wishes about what they want to do when they grow up. And in Japan, you know, female, since they are like very young, they don't really aim for dreaming big. They don't think about being scientists or astronauts or doctors or engineers or any really like challenging profession. They want to work at a bakery or a very, you know, specific service area, because still there's a real issue in the gender role here. And I think number one would be having more female entrepreneurs. There are a few, but not enough compared to how many men get exposure. And it's a very disturbing point for me as a female. But it's not only here. I think it's everywhere. But here it is where it hurts me most, because that's where I am now.
I mean, yes, if you are a female, just be a role model, be visible, come here, maybe do something here or speak at events. That's one thing. And if you tend not to be a female, then one thing I can also recommend where everyone can contribute, and especially if you want to come to Japan, it's difficult to find a specific position. As I said, we were kind of lucky, but I imagine that more and more such positions might open up. But in general, we need also more people like the leader type of people, just being motivated to do something, right? Just to come here and support in ways they can, they know how to support, and just try. If it fails, you try something else, right? Connect and make the people and the entrepreneurs that are there already, make them more visible. Yeah. Like there are female entrepreneurs, I'm sure, but like you don't hear from them, or they're lost, and like they don't think they have to be. Especially in Japan, people tend to shy away from being public.
Yeah, I think that diversity in general, female is only one kind of diversity.
Yeah.
But I think diversity in terms of ideas, backgrounds. I think Japan has many internal taboos and old-fashioned
thoughts,
concepts that need to be challenged. And yes. We see a few startups doing it, but I think the more diversity we have with people from different backgrounds, from different countries, different areas, will add value to the community. And that's something that could be done.
Of course, yeah. Yes, but then again, like as you mentioned before, like with the other podcast, you should know still the players and know where to attack. Otherwise, you might spend a lot of energy on the wrong thing.
Yeah, first of all, you need to know your skills, your values, or what you're willing to do, what kind of new skills you're committed to learn. You know, and that's a very important thing for anything you do.
Beyond that, what we can need, what does the area need as well? Like maybe more such kind of, like we mentioned, the pitch contest. I think the Hacker Osaka event this year with like Hacker Osaka, Monozukuri Hardware Cup, and after that the Get in the Ring event is kind of like a test, I would say. It's like all of those formats are established, and now they can like really try to shine and do something special and in a better way, and see how it's stuck with the people, or what they can do with it, and how to engage the people, or if they stay, if they like it, or if they'll come back or demand for more, right? And we'll see how this will work out, but in any case, we need more such events, as you mentioned before, more, maybe even like supporters, mentors, accelerators.
Yeah, I think we need, besides the events, we need more daily people who can help on a daily basis.
Yeah.
I feel entrepreneurs are really like put in a lot of efforts into the wrong direction on things that, you know, they want to make it perfect.
Yeah, the scene is young, and the amount of serial entrepreneurs is limited, and so there are people trying things but doing sometimes wrong.
Yeah, so then...
But it's good for them, they learn. However, also they lose time, so if you would have more opportunities to get a bit more mentorship,
yeah,
but more investment money would also be interesting.
I wouldn't say wrong, because saying is wrong is a very... I would say they are taking the longest way. And when you're a startup, you don't have a lot of fun. You need to get things done, you know, reach to certain milestones easily, and not waiting too long, otherwise you die. So I think I wouldn't say wrong. I would say they are not prioritizing the right things to do. So achievements are kind of like very out of what you would expect from a startup. So
in that sense, like, I really like it, and now thinking about it, we don't report much, we're not very much involved with Kobe, but I see this, there are many programs and many efforts from Kobe city itself, and yes, like we have 500 startups there, and like such programs, more of that basically, and people to bring them here, or just general people to come and help with their experiences.
And we need more Japanese locals who can give their own vision to the whole thing. Yeah,
that too. But like, for someone like John out there who wants to support or contribute or potentially come to Japan, maybe, I don't know, what can he do? Like, I mean, he has experience in that field, so bring that experience here. You have different knowledge, and you are from the Silicon Valley. That's it's a huge asset. Just the brand itself.
In Japan, it's a great credential.
And yeah, we need more people supporting and helping out. And what can you do best? Come here, start a format. I don't know.
Try it first. We just have guesses. It's not
one thing that I mentioned that in other places too. It's always a topic, and when I talk to startups here, is just the problem with the talent pool. I mean, you have that issue everywhere, but especially here in Japan, it's difficult to get to talents, especially to young students. They graduate and jump into companies, and it's much more lucrative and much more interesting to them still, unfortunately, and it's difficult to find those. And if you are a highly talented people, like coming here, and like maybe there might be something for you, right? So as we said, the pool is still very small, especially in Kansai. There are some restrictions and limitations, but if you're willing to move something, you can achieve that. Takes a bit longer in Japan, but it's very much needed.
Yeah, and you can make the difference.
Anything to add from you?
No, I totally agree. I think role models, diversity, and new blood, new talent. That's what we need to kind of add value to what already exists here.
Good. With that, we're looking forward to 2018 to achieve all that and to foster a stronger habitat.
Yeah, for sure.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Habitat Update, the podcast about entrepreneurship in Japan, based in and focusing on the Kansai area with the cities Kobe, Kyoto, Osaka, and so on, going live every 2 weeks as a video on YouTube and as an audio-only podcast on SoundCloud and iTunes. If you have any comments or feedback, feel free to reach out to us. You can write us with an email, habitatupdate@gmail.com, or you can reach me on Twitter via @GwenST or Sabrina @makersboot.camp. And with that, thank you very much. Looking forward to an amazing year with all of you. Stay fresh.
Thank you. Bye-bye.